Performance automobiles. Tasmanian Exhaust and Muffler Warehouse. Talais and Toyota.
Targa Tasmania is the ultimate test of man and machine, pitted against some of the world's most spectacular but unyielding roads. 6 days, 2,000 kilometres, snaking through Australia's majestic island state. For motoring enthusiasts, it's a proposition too tempting to overlook. Drivers are lured from around the globe, some fuelled by the burning desire to win, others simply by the journey itself. This is a race without peer. This is Targa Tasmania, the ultimate tarmac rally. Tasmania, a small island off the southeastern tip of Australia. Population 500,000. Famous for fine food and wine, and increasingly the rally to which it lends its name. Day one starts and finishes in Launceston. In between, a loop to the north coastal city of Devonport. Day two, and the field heads east, then south to Hobart. 9 of the most challenging competitive stages lie in wait. The shortest journey is day 3, Hobart and back via Huonville, but far from a day of rest, 7 Targa stages bunched close together give little respite. Day 4 is crucial, from Hobart to Burnie in the state's northwest. It is here the contenders in each class will find out what they must do to achieve their goals in Targa Tasmania. Day 5 is a fitting finale to an epic event. It's the longest day, a make-or-break run through the rugged west coast. 3 days prior to the start, overseas and interstate competitors are ushered aboard the Spirit of Tasmania, momentum building as the Targa juggernaut gains speed. The morning of the official start at Launceston's Country Club Casino dawned crisp and cloudless. A sight to warm the heart of those travelling in open-topped cars.
The multi-million-dollar mobile motor show is back in action.
As the field files away from the start, the 207 competitors are each mindful that to win, first you must finish. Targa is unmercifully hard on cars, and there are no prizes for retiring on day 0. The Georgetown Temco prologue sees the first wheel turn in anger. 4.5 kilometres of street brawling, it settles the pecking order and loosens the nerves. The lure of Targa Tasmania is undeniable. Throughout its history, Targa has cast its spell over even the most celebrated of champions. 1999 is no exception.
I had this great appetite for cars, but I also loved playing footy and stuff like that. But it was interesting that cars finally got me, and from that point onwards, I said, I've got to get out in that track.
Brakes are just getting bedded in. Very nice.
As long as the Purple Falcon doesn't pass him, he's got to 500.
certainly winning Bathurst the first time in '72 was a turning point in my life. Not only did the media and the perhaps the sponsors or those that were involved in the as officials in the sport view me a little differently, but I viewed myself a bit differently.
Carrying the weight of outright favouritism in the modern competition for '99, two times Australian production car champion Peter Fitzgerald.
I've always been competitive, and I've got to say, surviving in motorsport's the toughest thing I've ever had to do. I'm probably one of the only drivers that's survived that hasn't been a V8 driver, and I've done it by concentrating on the area where we've sort of done well, which is production car racing.
Pulse rates rising as Targa Tasmania announces its return.
Let's go, come on, let's go.
Tonight.
You're a gorgeous little dog.
Sometimes a vet's gotta do what a vet's gotta do.
You get the lead, I'll get the frying pan.
Helping a piddling pooch as only Dr. Harry can.
Right, we're cooking with gas.
Harry's practice tonight.
Don't settle for anything less. At Tas Exhaust, we have a Walker muffler and exhaust system which we will fit perfectly first time. No dangerous leaks, irritating noises or unsightly protrusions. All good reasons why a Walker muffler and Tas Exhaust Argyle Street is better.
You know, used to get pretty noisy out here. So I got a new Honda 4-stroke. They're so quiet, you can even hear the fishes swim. Getting rid of the other noise is easy too. If you want a really quiet engine, get a Honda 4-stroke.
Cablemate Repair, Supply and Manufacture.
Fridges.
No. Cablemate Repair, Supply and Manufacture.
Clock radios.
No. Cablemate Repair, Supply and Manufacture.
Turtleneck jumpers.
No.
Polo.
No. Cablemate Repair, Supply and Manufacture.
Fax machine.
No. Cablemate Repair, Supply and Manufacture.
Mobile.
Cablemate Repair, Supply and Manufacture. Cables. Chesterman Street, Moona.
You stupid.
When you're serious about sport, Tallows.
The 1998 European Car of the Year has arrived, the new Alfa Romeo 156.
United Butchers now coming together to bring you these great weekly specials. Chicken breast fillets, $9.75 a kilo. Tasty cabana sticks, 5 for $4. Crumb chicken thigh schnitzels, 3 for $5. Your United Butchers. Kingston Town meets Kingston Town. Joe's Fresh Meats Northgate. Shoreline Butchery, Shoreline Shopping Centre. And Trendy Cut Meats, Sorrel Shopping Centre and Main Road, Brighton. United Butchers, bringing you quality at affordable prices.
Tonight, Tasmania's most reserved world record holder. Jim McEwen is at the forefront of Tasmania's wool industry. His story about life on the land on Tasmania in Focus.
Southern Cross Nightly News. First at 6.
Need a big push because the compression is pretty frantic in this car. A lovely 1938 car which was found.
Day 1 and the start of Targa proper. Cars flagged away from Launceston's Central Mall. Targa Tasmania is broken into 3 separate competitions: Modern, Classic and Shannon's Historic. The separate divisions designed to provide compelling competition for the enormous variety of vehicles the road rally attracts. The Shannon's Historic competition is open to cars built prior to 1947. The flag car for 1999, the magnificent 1938 Alfa Romeo Mille Miglia Spider, one of the dominant sports cars of its era. For more genteel tastes, Ian Roberts' 46 Mark IV Jaguar, the big cat having its first run since an extensive restoration. Not everything went according to plan for the Roberts entry. An engine fire just days prior to the start almost put paid to their chances. However, in the best Targa tradition, the crew worked around the clock. The Jaguar would take its place in the field, amazingly looking none the worse for wear. For Targa rookie Ian Roberts, piloting his gleaming museum piece, more about style than pace.
Because the car weighs 2.5 tonnes and the steering wheel is like this, and so you feel every bump in the road, and some of the roads have tram lines in them where they reseal the road, and when you get on a tram line it's like skiing behind a ski boat. You know, you're skiing along quite nicely on the flat, and then you go over the wake and you do an S, and that's a bit like driving the Jaguar.
The Classic competition is open to vehicles built up to 1981 and contains the bulk of the field. Under the Classic heading there are 6 categories. The result is cars of varying age and performance competing on a level playing field. The Classic competition embodies the true spirit of Targa. Thanks to the handicapping system, cars as diverse as Henry Draper's tiny Morris Mini have a chance of beating far more powerful cars. The modern competition pits the world's most sophisticated road cars head to head. Honda and more recently Porsche have dominated this category. But there is no set formula for success. Some teams putting their faith in brute horsepower, like Craig Dean's 98 Saleen Mustang. Others, like Paul Stokel in the Lotus Elise, relying more on handling and finesse. The first full day of competition is the compact loop. The start in central Launceston, then on to Devonport and return. The round trip is 326 kilometres. Along the way, there are 9 competitive Targa stages. Lagana is the first of these, and the last through the streets of the famous racing town of Longford, home of the Australian Grand Prix in a bygone era. Day 1 sets the scene and provides a relatively gentle introduction to Targa. A constant companion for crews, postcard scenery like nowhere on earth. Roads carved in the living landscape of Tasmania's rustic heart. The earthy tones of autumn, a striking contrast to glistening paint and mirror chrome. Targa Tasmania, like all true rallies, is comprised of a series of competitive stages. Organisers set a base time for each Targa stage, and if a competitor completes the stage under the base time, it's known as cleaning the stage. Base times are achievable on some stages, unachievable on others. The crew that gets closest to the base times on each of the 43 competitive Targa stages wins the event. Knowing where and when to press on is the key to Targa victory. Lagana is the first Targa stage. As the cars are counted away, the tension builds. No one keen to suffer the indignity of being the first to crash out. The Moriarty stage is a fast and flowing run through open farming country, a chance to stretch the car's legs. It also provided the first of many anxious moments in Targa 99.
Let's go, come on, let's go, come on, come on.
For the past 3 years, the combination of Jim Richards and Barry Oliver in a 4-wheel drive Porsche Turbo has proven unbeatable in Targa. This year, the pair would only compete on the prologue and day 1, conflicting commitments forcing them elsewhere. A bitter disappointment for the pair as both regard Targa Tasmania as the highlight of their racing calendar.
I mean, I enjoy the event so much that I thought any excuse or chance to do a day or half a day, I was going to take it. So Porsche were kind enough to lend us a car, and so here we are. It was great.
Richards' winning car had been bought by Gant clothing boss Michael Mansour. With Peter Fitzgerald at the wheel and Mansour navigating, the red Carrera would, for the 4th year running, be the car to beat in the modern competition. The afternoon of day 1, and the roads are beginning to take their toll. The Sheffield stage catching out Greg Haysom in his 77 Toyota Celica GT. Despite some front-end damage, the Celica would go on. Gary Quigley in the big XWGT Falcon also striking trouble at Sheffield.
I've always loved it when you get out there and you're saying, right, here's the elements. Every person out there is really faced with the same sort of choices. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be a whole new way of thinking. If you make a blue, well, it's up to you.
No driver error, but the Brock charge was slowed by mechanical trouble. A clutch problem costing the father and son team valuable seconds. A less than ideal start for the pair running in their first Targa. Rallying is a team sport. And while the drivers receive much of the credit, the role of the navigator in Targa Tasmania is vital. Each of the thousands of corners are graded and called for the driver. Get one wrong, and at best it will cost valuable seconds, at worst a great deal more. The chemistry and communication between driver and navigator is nowhere better displayed than in the cockpit of car 907, the Lexus IS 200 in the hands of 3-time Australian rally champions Neil Bates and Coral Taylor.
Into long left, 4.5 opens. Then right, 4.5 king. Into long left, 4.5.
The day 1 finale. 3.5 kilometres around the streets of Longford, the town made famous in the 50s and 60s as the home of the Australian Grand Prix. The Targa stage briefly returning the historic hamlet to its halcyon days. After day 1 in the Shannon's historic competition, Martin Utber and Nick Langford in the S-Type Invicta, ahead of John Lawson's Alfa Romeo and the 1926 Chrysler Vanden Pla of Lee Mundy and Guy Dunstan. In his first day of Targa competition, Ian Roberts had his Jaguar in 5th. The classic competition shaping as a titanic struggle. The Mustang of Scott Kent locked in a tie for the lead with Robert White's Sunbeam Tiger. That pair just 5 seconds ahead of Mike Batten's Volvo and the Porsche of Paul Stewart. Peter and James Brock still well in contention. A familiar sight at the top of the modern leaderboard. Jim Richards and Barry Oliver leaving Targa 99 as they came in, on top. The real battle between Peter Fitzgerald and Warwick Fremantle. Nothing separating the pair after day 1. Neil Bates making good his promise to put the Lexus in the top 10.
How would you like $1 million a day, each day, 5 days a week? Yeah! The $1 million chance of a lifetime returns tonight at 7 o'clock. Then the suspense continues. Monday, $1 million. Tuesday, $1 million. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
You can start breathing again now.
Call 1902 555 600 to register for $1 million chance of a lifetime. Begins tonight at 7 on Southern Cross.
Year means Toyota's hottest sale ever. Gutsy Starlet comes packed with safety features, including driver's airbag. Just $13,990 drive away. Corolla Seeker and Sedan come with central locking, power steering, and 1.6-litre twin-cam power to burn. Just $19,990 drive away, including air. The heat's on us to break all records. It's our hottest sale ever.
Don't settle for anything less. At Tas Exhaust, we have a Walker muffler and exhaust system which we will fit perfectly first time. No dangerous leaks, irritating noises or unsightly protrusions. All good reasons why a Walker muffler and Tas Exhaust Argyle Street is better.
Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture.
Fridges.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture.
Clock radios.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture.
Turtleneck jumpers.
No.
Polo.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture.
Fax machine.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture.
Mobile.
Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture cables. Chesterman Street, Moona.
You stupid.
You know, used to get pretty noisy out here. So I got a new Honda 4-stroke. They're so quiet, you can even hear the fishes swim. Getting rid of the other noise is easy too. If you want a really quiet engine, get a Honda 4-stroke.
The 1998 European Car of the Year has arrived, the new Alfa Romeo 156.
When you're serious about sport, Tallows.
Sunrise day 2, and the often maligned Tasmanian weather still on its best behaviour. A perfect day, perfect roads, motoring nirvana. For those making their first attempt at Targa Tasmania, like Ian Roberts in the 46 Jaguar, the excitement is difficult to contain. The troubles of only a few days ago seem a distant memory.
They are, but it's really good. We're thoroughly enjoying it. I should have done it years ago. But unfortunately, when we got to the car this morning, it had a flat tyre in the front left-hand corner. So I hope it stays up till lunchtime and we'll change it.
Tasmania's east coast is the state's crowning glory. High forest country gives way to stretches of brilliant white sand and the rich crystal waters of the Tasman Sea. Wineglass Bay on the Freycinet Peninsula, widely regarded to be among the world's top 10 beaches. Day 2 carries the field from Launceston through the narrow winding mountain passes of the state's northeast. It is then south to the Tasmanian capital Hobart, a distance of 445 kilometres. The 9 Targa stages are marked by contrast, from the succession of hairpins on the Sidling to the fast open run of Cranbrook. These are the roads that built the legend of Targa Tasmania. The Sidling stage is a favourite for many Targa Tasmania drivers. Narrow and winding, the road often damp. For Guy Beddington and Peter Svensson in the stunning Ultima Coupe, the Sidling was very nearly their final Targa stage.
No, we're right. It sticks right off.
Making its Southern Hemisphere competition debut, the race-bred Ultima is a serious contender in the modern competition. Although it lacks the four-wheel drive of the Porsches, it's compensated by a well-proven suspension setup and massive power-to-weight ratio, thanks to the mid-mounted 5-litre Ford V8. It is also one of the most spectacular-looking cars ever to enter the event. The logistics of running an event like Targa Tasmania are enormous. In terms of officials, Targa is easily the biggest motorsport event in the country. Almost 3,000 volunteers give up their time, marshalling cars and spectators as the mobile motor show winds its way around the state. While roadside officials make up the bulk of the numbers, specialised first intervention crews, comprised of professional firefighters and paramedics, are stationed on each Targa stage and are only moments away in the event of a serious accident. The other unsung heroes of Targa are the spectators. They turn out in their droves in all kinds of weather to the most unlikely vantage points to cheer on competitors. They are the ones who bring Targa to life. For Peter Brock, this trip to Tasmania serves a dual role. Firstly, to compete. Secondly, to farewell the legion of fans who followed his career. The ever-obliging racer signing hundreds of autographs wherever the car came to a standstill. Although out of racing for more than a year, it seems no one has forgotten Brocky. The morning of day 2 has no less than 4 mountain pass stages. Each demand concentration and respect. Twisty conditions are ideally suited to the newly launched Lexus IS200. What the Lexus gives away in power is compensated under brakes and through corners. Neil Bates and Coral Taylor determined to keep the car in the top 10. The afternoon of day 2 sees the cars snake their way down the east coast to Hobart. The Targa stages are fast and open, a marked contrast to the morning. The tiny fishing port of Triabunna hosts the penultimate day 2 stage. The sounds of screaming engines and tortured tyres an annual hiccup in the otherwise tranquil surrounds. While the vast majority of the field managed to negotiate the rigours of day 2, things were going from bad to worse for Gary Quigley in the GT Falcon. After an off on day 1, the transmission failed in the final stage of day 2. Their chances of figuring in the final standings all but gone. Definitely out of the running, Chris Crowe and Tom Fletcher. Their Tirana SS 5000 would go no further. Craig Dean in the supercharged Saline Mustang also falling victim to an overzealous right foot.
It's got a lot of horsepower. It's not handling as best as we'd like, so we're having a lot of trouble with that at the moment, and that's what's really holding me back. So I'm backing off quite a lot at the moment, but the top speeds along straights is real good.
Positions remained unchanged in the Shannon's historic competition after day 2. Martin Utber had stretched his lead in the Invicta, a 4-minute buffer over John Lawson's Alpha and Lee Mundy's Chrysler. Things couldn't be tighter in the classic competition. The Austin Healey of Paul and Christine Freestone sharing the lead with Henry and Rosalind Draper's Mini. Robert White's Sunbeam Tiger holding third. The XU1 of Brock and Brock just out of the top 10. The drive of the day came from Paul Stokel, taking the Lotus from 11th to 4th. The Nissan GTRs of Jeff Church and Warwick Fremantle in hot pursuit of Peter Fitzgerald's Porsche. The leaders not without their share of problems. The car that had performed faultlessly through 3 previous Targas had developed a serious gearbox complaint. Without a new one, the Fitzgerald-Mansour challenge was dead in the water.
Unfortunately, we've lost third gear. We lost that at lunchtime at Elephant Pass, so we've had to drive the rest of the day using second and fourth.
Tim's got a hot new mechanic.
You're also very attractive.
Just wait till Jill finds out. This will take some explaining.
Who are you with tonight?
Alex, my mechanic.
Why is your hand on her breast?
It's guarding it.
Home improvement tonight.
Year means Toyota's hottest sale ever. Gutsy Starlet comes packed with safety features, including driver's airbag. Just $13,990 drive away. Corolla Seeker and Sedan come with central locking, power steering, and 1.6-litre twin-cam power to burn. Just $19,990 drive away, including air. The heat's on us to break all records. It's our hottest sale ever.
Don't settle for anything less. At Tas Exhaust, we have a Walker muffler and exhaust system which we will fit perfectly first time. No dangerous leaks, irritating noises or unsightly protrusions. All good reasons why a Walker muffler and Tas Exhaust Argyle Street is better.
you're serious about sport, Tallows.
The 1998 European Car of the Year has arrived, the new Alfa Romeo 156.
It's action for everyone, all the way, 7 days a week, Tasmania, at the showgrounds.
The big challenge is you just don't know what's around the corner. You can take all the precautions under the sun.
The early hours of day 3 were not a restful time for the Fitzgerald crew. A replacement gearbox was found. The fact that it was in navigator Michael Mansour's other Porsche in Melbourne mattered little. Across Bass Strait, mechanics had dismantled Mansour's road car and put the gearbox on a plane to Launceston. It was then road freighted to Hobart and installed in the Targa car. A job that in normal circumstances could take a week, completed in hours. The final nut tightened in time to make the start of day 3. At the other end of the field, the problem's just as serious and the solutions just as difficult. Lee Mundy's 1926 Chrysler had destroyed its clutch, and as he was quick to point out, the car was out of the warranty period.
And there's no 1926 clutches on the shelf of Chrysler anymore.
Local Hobart machinists called on to manufacture a new clutch plate from scratch. Day 3, and the historic cars are given a well-earned break from competition to take part in the Shannon's Concourse in Hobart's landmark Salamanca Place. The sandstone streetscape of Salamanca is one of Tasmania's most recognisable places. The hub of Hobart's waterfront since the early 1800s, its cobbled pavement lined with restaurants, cafes and taverns. The shining vintage cars a fitting ornament. The competition route for day 3 takes the rest of the field on a 209-kilometre return loop out of Hobart. The shortest day, but one of the most intense. The 7 Targa stages are long and close together. The day starts with a hill climb on the city's outskirts. Competitors then travel south through the Channel and Huon valleys, the culmination the Ridgeway Park stage, one of Targa's most competitive legs. By day 3, pace setters are beginning to emerge. Those doing the chasing forced to press even harder. One car going faster than most expected, the Lotus Elise in the hands of up-and-coming Tasmanian driver Paul Stokel. With only a third of the power of the leading cars in the modern competition, Stokel wringing every inch of performance out of the sweet-handling Lotus.
But we're pushing the car pretty hard, you know, it's not really up to the speed of some of the bigger cars, and I'm just driving the proverbial out of it really, and somehow or other we're keeping up with them, which is amazing myself.
As the pressure to perform increases, the temptation to explore the limits grows. In Targa Tasmania, overstepping the boundary comes at a high price. Day 3 was hitting hard. Queenslanders Lindsay Rickson and Graham Dodd rearranging the front of their XJS Jaguar. The spectacular antics of Simon Klein in the Volvo coming to an abrupt halt, along with John Gilmore's Porsche 924. Rodney Edwards' Nissan GTR badly bent and out of the event. Likewise, the Alpha of Christopher Blandon. An unscheduled sightseeing stop for the Celica of Gary Hinton and Ray Bates, a wild ride through the Tasmanian wilderness. Anything you can do, we can do better. Ron Mankey's RX-7 snugly wedged between 2 trees, 20 metres from the road.
Fairly greasy on that corner and just came around straight over the bank. The only part is we didn't think it was going to stop going down the bank.
Not everyone was having trouble. Guy Beddington spurring the Ultima Coupe to the fastest time on the Woodbridge stage. The final Targa stage, Ridgeway Park. A late chance to make a run at the leaders. Travelling midfield, Anthony Alford and Carl Farmer in the Alpina BMW 323i caught up in the excitement.
Oh! Keep going, keep going. Keep going, that's it, keep it going. Well done, stuff, good stuff, keep it going. Take five, keep going.
The big crowd at Ridgeway Park had come to see action, and they weren't disappointed. A standing ovation for Stephen and Jameel Taylor in the Alpha GTV 2000. Graham Copeland's Triumph TR7 V8 delivering the encore performance. At the top of the modern field, mechanical gremlins continued to plague the Porsche of Peter Fitzgerald and Michael Mansour.
One of the intercooler hose popped off, so we lost all boost, and it was all I could do to get it to the line. So where we would have naturally cleaned that stage, we dropped 24 seconds.
Fitzgerald was still leading the modern competition, but the margin had been slashed. Warwick Fremantle's Nissan now only 6 seconds off the pace. The battle for third, wide open. 4 cars separated by only 20 seconds. A good day for Peter Brock in the classic competition. For the first time since the prologue, the car was back in the top 10.
Each day we come back and we say, right, tomorrow let's just try changing the brake bias a little, or the springs and what have you, and each day just goes better and better. It's fantastic. It's really going very, very rapidly indeed these days. The brain box, Tirana, go. I'm just being a little bit careful on the starts, but everything else, flat out.
The drive of the day had come from Robert White in the Sunbeam Tiger, up from third to first. In hot pursuit, the Mini of Draper and Draper, and Paul and Christine Freestone's Austin Healey. Targa Tasmania's international reputation has continued to flourish. The 99 event attracting a record 19 international entries, their skill levels as varied as their countries of origin. French ace Bob Wallach boasts immaculate credentials, podium finishes in many of the world's famous long-distance events, including Le Mans, Sebring and Daytona.
It's a great pleasure for me to be here, because I've been racing for more than over 30 years, and I've tried for 20 years to come and do some races here. I want to do Bathurst, didn't never work, so I'm very, very happy to be here, discover the country, which is beautiful, absolutely fantastic.
A 7-time Targa entrant, Japan's Wakuro Kobayashi. His spectacular and flamboyant style a favourite with crowds on every stage. His Nissan GTR rumoured to have as much as 900 horsepower. South African Chris Andrew for the second year campaigning his immaculate Chevrolet Can-Am. Last year's Denny Hulme Award winner for overcoming adversity to finish, hoping for a smoother run in 1999.
Tonight, Australian care workers Steve Pratt and Peter Wallace convicted of spying, and trouble brewing in the Democrats' leadership ranks.
Southern Cross Nightly News. First at 6.
Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture...
Fridges.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture...
Clock radios.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture...
Turtleneck jumpers.
No.
Polo.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture...
Fax machine.
No. Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture...
Mobile.
Cablemate repair, supply and manufacture... Cables. Chesterman Street, Moona.
You stupid...
Don't settle for anything less. At Tas Exhaust, we have a Walker muffler and exhaust system which we will fit perfectly first time. No dangerous leaks, irritating noises or unsightly protrusions. All good reasons why a Walker muffler and Tas Exhaust Argyle Street is better.
When you're serious about sport, Tallows.
The 1998 European Car of the Year has arrived, the new Alfa Romeo 156.
What's that? Is it a train? Is it an earthquake? No, It's a special offer!
Get 2 games, shoe hire, hot dog and fries, plus 50 cents off Coke discount voucher, all for $10.60. We also have the great Coca-Cola giveaway. We're giving away heaps of prizes, including a Coke Esky filled with Coca-Cola. That's the $10.60 winter holiday deal. Book at your AMF centre now.
We give traditional steak and veg a whole new image. Plus, special guest Dr. Harry Cooper shows how to build your pet a home. Tuesday on Better Homes and Gardens. Then, they're building their own home.
There'll be a front door, you walk in.
First, they've got to beat the red tape.
We can't approve it today.
Just wonder whether or not we're ever going to see this house built.
And tackling Australia's hottest rental market.
Big smoke hides some pretty tough realities.
The headaches are just starting.
I guess we're stuck here for a couple more nights.
Hot Property, Tuesday.
Day 4, and a ghostly mist shrouds the landscape as the cars set out on the second longest and second last day of Targa Tasmania 1999. The Midlands town of Ross lending its scenery to complete the picture. For Tracy Watts and Keith Brodie, Day 4 holds some ghosts of its own. In '98, their event ended on the Ross stage, the image of that fateful day still etched upon their memory.
It's surprising, you know, the thing you're going over and over and you're very aware of every moment.
In '99, the Ross stage completed in less dramatic style. 118 kilometres of hard driving over 9 Targa stages is the story of Day 4. The field leaves Hobart and heads north to Ross. The afternoon sees cars head west to one of Targa Tasmania's most infamous stages, Rihanna, regarded by many as the toughest of the event. The day finishes with a short street sprint in the city of Burnie, a total distance of 491 kilometres. A 7:30 start on the first stage gets the adrenaline pumping early. The 3-kilometre run around the Queen's Domain, close to the centre of Hobart, one of the best spectator stages. The Shannon's historic battle was becoming a race in two. Martin Utber and Nick Langford in the Invicta, fighting it out with the flag car, John Lawson's 38 Alfa Romeo. Ian Roberts, in the Mark IV Jaguar, had overcome his early troubles and was holding 5th position, more than fulfilling his pre-Targa expectations.
I just hope to complete each stage, probably not within time, but just to complete it and to enjoy it.
The classic competition was coming down to an all-British affair. At the head of the field, Robert White's Sunbeam, just seconds behind the 1961 Morris Mini of Henry and Rosalind Draper. Nothing had separated the cars over the first 3 days. Days 4 and 5 would settle the argument.
A classic battle, isn't it? You know, the 60s cars and 50s cars. That's the way it was then, so whoever did the handicaps got it going pretty good, I think.
When Michael Mansour from Gant approached me to run with him in this event, I said to him, he was actually looking at running another car, and I said, well, do you want to get serious and try and win this event, or do you want to just go down and have a bit of fun? And Mike is a naturally competitive person, and he said, oh, can we win it? And I said, well, sure we can if we get the right car.
Fitzgerald was getting what he came for, locked in an arm wrestle with the Nissan GTRs of Warwick Fremantle and Jeff Church. 6 seconds, all that separated first from second.
Something might break on either his car or my car, who knows? We'll just wait and see.
Outright victory is not the aim of every Targa competitor. Most are involved in battles within categories and classes. A Targa trophy is awarded to all entries who beat the trophy times on each stage. A gold Targa trophy is awarded to competitors who complete 3 successive events. In Targa Tasmania, the real challenge lies in making it to the finish. The afternoon of Day 4 has ended many challenges in the past. The fast undulating run of Sathana to the notorious Rihanna stage. These long and demanding stages are a serious test for crews and cars. Targa Tasmania, like all forms of motorsport, contains an element of danger. Out of the car, all drivers are aware of the risks.
Slow right down. Right down. Okay.
The razor's edge between control and mayhem was becoming finer in the run to the finish. Even a 9-time Bathurst winner is not infallible. Brock would continue, others would not. In the heat of the moment, accidents happen. Tasmanians Norman Henry and Anthony Stoner in an Alfa Romeo pressed too hard. Both suffered fractures and facial injuries. Targa's first intervention vehicles on the scene just moments after the crash. As a result of the accident, the Rihanna and Burnie Targa stages downgraded to touring. The people of Burnie still turning out en masse to catch a glimpse of the cars as they filed round the streets. The sun setting on a long day. The morning would bring day 5 and the finish.
The $1 million chance of a lifetime returns tonight at 7 o'clock. Then all next week at 5:30, there's 5 more chances to win big. Call this number and a $1 million chance of a lifetime could be yours. Starts 7 o'clock tonight.
When you're serious about sport, Tallows.
The 1998 European Car of the Year has arrived, the new Alfa Romeo 156.
Don't settle for anything less. At Tas Exhaust, we have a Walker muffler and exhaust system which we will fit perfectly first time. No dangerous leaks, irritating noises or unsightly protrusions. All good reasons why a Walker muffler and Tas Exhaust Argyle Street is better.
When I had my 2-stroke, I had to use a scarf to stop sucking down oily fumes. But my new Honda 4-stroke, it's as clean as a whistle. Which means now I can use my scarf to keep my tackle covered. If you don't want rotten 2-stroke fumes, get a Honda 4-stroke.
Discover Silver Ridge Retreat.
The Ford half-year clearance is now on, and every new car and truck comes with 1 year's free full comprehensive insurance. Festiva from $12,990 drive away with air conditioning and free comprehensive insurance for every buyer. Laser from only $19,990 with air conditioning, airbag and free comprehensive insurance. Get it on at the Ford half-year clearance with free comprehensive insurance while stocks last.
When I had my 2-stroke, I had to use a scarf to stop sucking down oily fumes. But my new Honda 4-stroke, it's as clean as a whistle. Which means now I can use my scarf to keep my tackle covered. If you don't want rotten 2-stroke fumes, get a Honda 4-stroke.
As far as I'm concerned, it's like getting up on stage and singing a song and saying, well, I'm not going to sing out of tune. I mean, I want to do it one way. That's the best way I can. So I'll just take the results as they come. I think finishing is probably my greatest aim for this year's Targa.
Going into day 5, Peter and James Brock had dropped 1 place and were in 11th. Their chances of an outright classic competition win looked unlikely. The real battle was being fought between Robert White and Henry Draper, only 20 seconds separating the Sunbeam from the Mini. Mike Batten's Volvo back in the top 3.
I think you have to drive to stay ahead of the rest, and that's all you have to do.
I mean, you don't get any extra points or any extra prize for winning by 3 minutes or 4 minutes, as long as you win.
Fitzgerald and Mansour taking that philosophy to extremes, leading, but by only 26 seconds from the super consistent Fremantle-Watchorn combination in the Nissan GTR. 4 cars close enough to figure in the scramble for 3rd. Tasmania's west coast is a world apart, rugged and isolated. Mining towns and fishing villages dot the landscape. Their fortunes have ebbed and flowed for more than a century. From the tranquil beauty of Strawn on the banks of Macquarie Harbour to the industry-scarred cliffs of Queenstown, the pioneering spirit lives on. The ribbon of black that snakes its way through the wilderness, Targa Tasmania's crown jewel. Hill climbs are a feature of rallies the world over. Targa Tasmania boasts the mother of them all, the 99 bends out of Queenstown, up the naked face of Mount Lyell. Day 5, long and hard. The total distance is over 500 kilometres. The field leaves Burnie en route to Hobart via the west coast. Along the way, 9 Targa stages. Most of them are long and the base times more difficult to achieve. The challenge of the morning stages only surpassed by those in the afternoon. The Mount Arrowsmith stage, 50 kilometres long, a race in itself. Day 5 delivers only a deserving few to the podium in Hobart. The early Targa stages of Hellyer Gorge and Mount Black set the scene for the day ahead. The roads tight and steep, overnight rain and added concern for drivers. With the rest of the pack in hot pursuit, Peter Fitzgerald was finding no comfort in his narrow lead. A long way still to travel.
We've been pretty full on all morning, trying to build that buffer up in case something occurs in the afternoon. I guess we've just got to keep pressing on.
Unless Fitzy has a problem, I'd say it's unlikely that we would catch him because his car's significantly quicker than ours. On stages like Arrowsmith, I'd expect him to have sort of like a 280 to 290 kilometre an hour top speed.
As Fitzgerald and Mansour set out for Hobart, every rattle and bang amplified tenfold. A week of mechanical trouble had left them with nagging doubts. The most successful car in Targa history asked for one final decisive effort. For Peter and James Brock in the Tirana, the afternoon of Day 5, the final chance to give the crowds what they wanted. A trademark Brock against the odds win. James had spent 5 months building the car, and the XU1 was relishing what Day 5 had to offer.
We passed 2 cars in the last fast stage, and yeah, we passed an 89X and an NSX Honda, so, you know, and this, 26-year-old car, so I don't know what the bloke in the NSX was thinking, but I told him to take it easy on the, it's the last day, we've just got to get back to Hobart.
The Mount Arrowsmith Targa stage is the longest in the event, rolling through Nelson Valley and Victoria Pass. Long straights and sweeping bends are interspersed with tighter sections. The faster cars reach speeds over 250 kilometres per hour. No place for the faint-hearted. Peter Brock's nerve as steady as ever. His foot flat to the boards, the speedo clocking over 200 as the Tirana hurtled towards the finish. Then the unthinkable happened. An innocent-looking bend on Mount Arrowsmith claimed the most celebrated name in Australian motorsport. Proof once and for all that Targa cares little for reputations.
We were going across there very quickly. I came in there, right-hander, thought I was looking pretty good. The road was damp just as I was turning in. It got damper and damper as the car started understeering, and I finished up out wide. Just went down this gutter on the left-hand side. Fortunately, didn't hit anything, no rocks or trees or whatever, but it certainly holed the radiator, and that was it, we're out of the event.
Fitzgerald had made it through unscathed. The finish now beckoned. Warwick Fremantle and Nick Watchhorn still chasing hard in the Nissan. The Lotus of Paul Stokel, snapping at the heels of the leaders. The final hurdles, Tarraleah, Ellendale and New Norfolk. Concentration at a premium as crews battle fatigue. In the classic competition, Robert White in the Sunbeam Tiger had put together another faultless day. The Mini of Henry and Rosalind Draper likewise clean and fast. The classic competition battle running down to the wire. Heartbreak for Gary Lansdell and John Sluice, their event ending just metres from the end of the final Targa stage. The Shannon's historic competition had taken some unexpected turns. Problems for the Invicta of Martin Utber and John Lawson's Alfa Romeo had thrust Lee Mundy's Chrysler into the lead, the older cars feeling the pinch as the kilometres rolled on. Hobart's Rest Point Casino marked the finish line. Of the 209 competitors who began the epic 6 days before, 176 had completed the journey. The Denny Hulme Award is given each year to a team that overcomes adversity to successfully complete Targa Tasmania. In 1999, Queenslanders John Taylor and Brian McGovern in a Ford Mustang were bestowed with the honour. Gearbox, electrical and overheating problems had beset the car since leaving Queensland. The Mustang had made the finish, fuelled largely by willpower. Platinum Targa trophies are awarded to competitors who have completed no less than 6 Targas in succession. In '99, only 4 would join the exclusive Platinum Club. Ken Gover and Peter Harbison driving a 1953 Lancia, plus 2 of Targa's most popular faces, Bob Edwards and Glenn Ridge in the distinctive black Alfa Romeo. Lee Mundy and Guy Dunstan emerged victorious in the Shannon's historic competition, the durability of the Chrysler winning the day. The pristine Invicta S-Type, crewed by Martin Utber and Nick Langford, second, ahead of John Felder and John Shorland in the Oakland 8. Ian Roberts and Peter Cameron had achieved their goals, the Jaguar finishing 4th.
Unbelievable. I just can't believe it, you know, having caught on fire last Saturday, blowout tyres, 2 blowout tyres on day 1, and just kept going, and we're here.
The 28 Chev of Wes and Diane Wilkinson 5th, mechanical problems relegating John Lawson's Alfa Romeo flag car to 6th. The classic competition was decided by less than 1 minute. Robert White and Angus MacLeod getting the Sunbeam Tiger across the line ahead of the Mini of Henry and Rosalind Draper. Paul and Christine Freestone taking their Austin Healey to a well-deserved 3rd. Warwick Fremantle and Nick Watchhorn's gallant chase had fallen just short, the Nissan only 48 seconds off the lead. The drive of the event going to Paul Stokel and Peter Roberts. A brilliant performance had put the tiny Lotus Elise into the top 3. 4th, Gary Scott and Richard Frankie's RX-7. Guy Beddington and Peter Svensson 5th in the Ultima Coupe. The winners in the modern competition, Peter Fitzgerald and Michael Mansour. The pair had overcome the hurdles to achieve the win they so desperately pursued. Their names to be added to an illustrious list of winners.
3, and I'm going. Bye!
Targa Tasmania had once again outstripped expectations. For those that triumphed, a time to soak in the achievement. For the rest, 12 months to plan their assault on Targa 2000. 12 months to live on the memories of the ultimate tarmac rally.